Hi guys, it's Erin the Tacky Painter, and today I'm going to use watercolors to paint this mermaid tail. I haven't really used watercolors that much, so it's a learning experience. I've just got this kid set here that I stole from my children. Just a regular graphite pencil. This fan brush that came with the set, as well as a little round brush. Very soft bristles. A Micron Ink Pen, just to do an outline around the tail. A Jelly Roll white pen, as well as a white charcoal pencil. But you'll see, I try to go back and add the highlights with the white afterwards, and it doesn't really work out too well. I've got a lot to learn about watercolors. Let's get tacky. Alright, I'm just going to draw it in with just my regular number 2 pencil. Just sketching it in. I didn't really have a plan, I just knew that I wanted a tail coming up out of the water. And if you're watching this years from now, this was sort of inspired by Mermaid, the hashtag. It's a new month, it's the month of May now, so people are going to be drawing a lot of mermaids, painting a lot of mermaids, and I just thought it was kind of cool. I noticed that watercolor doesn't take as long to paint, so that comes in handy with me because I have to paint when my baby is sleeping and when my other kids are either in school or preoccupied. And if you listen closely, you can probably hear my kids in the background sometimes. It's always fun. One thing I did notice working with the watercolors was that you have to pay attention to where you want your whites to be in the end. It's different from acrylics because in acrylics you can just paint your darks, and then when that dries you can paint your lighter colors on top. But with watercolor you have to keep track of where you want your white and not really put any paint there because you can't get your white back after you've painted over it. I figured that out pretty quick. So I'm just using a light green color for the fins. Like I said, this is probably the second time I've painted with watercolors as an adult. So I'm still learning and experimenting and making mistakes, but that's all good. That's how you learn. Just using that fan brush. And I'll put everything that I use on this in the description. What kind of paper, what kind of pens, so that if you want to do the same, you can. Now I've got a light blue color. Just filling it in, sort of blending it with the green where they meet. So I decided to use my 3 favorite colors in this, purple, blue, and green. You might notice I use those a lot in my paintings. They just make me happy, the cool colors. And for me, art is really about whatever makes you happy. So I'm just using that fan brush with darker blue, and I'm coming back just to add some lines on the green, seeing how watercolor layers. It's a little bit different than acrylics, but I think I like it. I'm definitely going to do it again. Alright, rinsing out and using the dark blue color now because I'm going to come put in some water. Now this is the part where I should have left some gaps of the white showing through to show that the water's reflective. But I sort of covered it all up because I wasn't thinking. I wasn't in the watercolor painting mode. I was still in acrylic painting mode. I'm just going back and forth with horizontal brush strokes just to apply some water. Dipping in. Now I'm getting into some purple. And I'm just going to put that on the tail fin also, just underneath, just to get it a little bit darker on the bottom part. Just using that fan brush again. Now I'm just getting into some even darker purple. Just put on the bottom, just give a little bit of shape. And I'm putting a little bit of that in the water also, just to add some shadow. Again, I think I should have left some white showing through, but next time. Alright, getting back into some dark blue. And just adding that where I think it needs it, rinsing out. And I'm grabbing my round brush. So I'm going to add some scales on the tail. So I've just got my dark green color and I'm just dotting it. Rinsing out. And now I'm going to get into some purple. I'm just going to put a few purple scales here and there. Rinsing out again. And this was my white, but as you can see, the kids were using this and they like to mix their colors, so I was just trying to get, I think it was purple. Just trying to get the purple off there. See the white underneath. And like I said, I haven't really played around with acrylics too much, so I wanted to see if I could come back over and try to add some white on top. It worked a little bit, but not like I was thinking it would. So now I'm getting into some yellow, which has also been tinted with green. And I just tried to add some reflections there in the scales. Alright, now I've got my black Micron Ink Pen. It's got a very fine tip on it and I'm just using it to outline my tail. I'm not being very careful. This was just a quick, easy experiment with watercolors. And I'm just outlining the tail, leaving some spots white because that will help show the reflections. I'm just putting a few lines in the tail itself. Overall, I like how this came out. I learned a few things about watercolors, and I'm definitely going to be using them again in the future. This happened really quick. I was able to do this while my baby was napping. So I really liked it. It was fun. Alright, this is my Jelly Roll pen in white, because I want to see if I can come back and add some highlights now, but it wasn't really working. Just a little bit here and there. So now I've got my General's white charcoal pencil. And that worked a little bit too, but like I said, it would have been better if I had just left the parts white that I needed to be white in the first place. But I'm learning. So I'm going to get my Micron pen again and just sign it here at the bottom and date it. So that was fun. Experiment with watercolors. I just want to say there's always something to look forward to, and I look forward to painting with you guys again next time. Thank you so much. Bye bye.